Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Lansen C. It's a tier 8 Swedish premium medium tank. It's located on the attack team on Karelia Assault, and it's under the command of Captain Ashstorm. Yes, we haven't seen him in a replay for a while. In fact, actually, this replay is from January, and I haven't got around to doing it, but now it's ready. Okay, let's see how he gets on. Oh, gun's dropped. Oh, he's loaded now. Okay. Well, it's a 105mm gun capable of doing 320 alpha, and he's got 192mm of, or is it 208mm of penetration? I think it's 208. Yep, there it is. 208mm of pen with standard, and with the premium rounds, it'll do 242mm, and he gets 420 alpha off the HE rounds, and he's got a few of those. Yes, lovely. Gets his first shot in, and it's a low roll though. Remember, 320. Nice! That was better, but it was a low roll again. Now we're getting some help here because that ELC Evan 90 on our team's actually gone into the swamp to spot for us, and he's not. He's staying passive, just giving us good information on where the enemy is. He got a nice little shot into that 432, and he dies. Good. And I think that spotting info will go to the ELC Evan 90. Oh, another good shot on the Tiger 2, who's still being lit. And he must realise that he's being lit, because if he's getting hit and his sixth sense didn't go off, then he must have been lit all the time. That was a nice final shot to put him out of the game. So Captain Ashstorm's got his first kill. Now this is a tank that was actually developed by Lansen for the Swedish Armed Forces. Oh, Char using a 4. Yep, put one in, but he has to pull back because the Char might decide to fire a few rounds back in this direction. But we'll go for another one. And it's another hit, this time a high roll for 340. He's going to go behind that rock, isn't he? Yes. He's taking fire though. And there's the kill coming in from the Arty. Or was it? No, it was an Object 263 who got the kill, not the Arty. But our little ELC is actually doing rather nice. Okay, MXM449 Liberté, and he gets around into the engine bay for 311. Another low roll. Now, despite the fact that the Swedes actually made a full-size prototype of this tank to test the technology for it, it was actually discontinued in favour of a 30-ton tank. This is mainly because this was a 23-ton medium. Very, very light medium, you might say. And so, yes, they decided to go with something a little heavier. As you know, the Swedes actually did buy Centurions at one point or other. It's got fairly light armour, this tank, but it does have good alpha. There you go, number one, and that's a high roll for 325. It's got good gun depression of 10 degrees, good acceleration, good camouflage as well. You notice he hasn't been spotted until now, but he pulls back and now he's in safe cover. The armour's not so great. It's 60mm at the front and the hull, 40 at the sides, 25 on the rear, 70 at the front of the turret, 70 on the sides, and 40 on the rear. So fairly light on armour, which is why it accelerates quickly. But it's that gun. It's all about the gun, baby. Yep, 105mm, very accurate, and he's getting nice hits. And there goes the Liberté. And that one was the Arty. GW Tiger P got him. Now we're looking at an Object 263, and he fired one in at the side, got him in the rear. In fact, there's only one enemy tank nearby us at the moment, and that's the Liberté that we can't see. But there is another enemy tank, a heavy, up at the pass in Grid Squares A8. He's a little way away from us at the moment. Captain Ashstorm's decided to make use of this little these little shooting positions along the base of what normally is the cap area. Oh, the Liberté's turned up. He went into the dip. Now, go for the 263. Oh, he didn't get the kill shot. That actually went to our 263. But the Liberté has turned up nearby. Oh, Waffenträger. Just saw the corner. Ah, that one didn't hit. So he's going to have to change position. Ow! That was the E75 firing his 128mm gun at us, and he got a high roll. Can we get a shot into this Waffenträger? Yes, we do this time, and it's a high roll. I'd load the HE if I was you, because that will go straight through that thing and will literally pulverize it. Okay, the enemy just lost their IS-3. We can get some revenge on that. 75, yes, he fires around in, gets a rear shot. Oh, he's on fire! And it's not down to Captain Ashstorm, but he is now out the game after being taken out by the 263. Now we've got this Libertate down in the dip. He might want to load the premium rounds, but he's got it by the ass. Did Sir order an enema? Oh! Oh no, that's not fair. Oh dear. The M40, M43 got a pen. Yeah, I did say the armor's fairly thin. Yeah, well, he got struck by an 8cm gun, an 8cm round, which actually went straight through and wiped him out, unfortunately. The 705 survived, but he's still sitting in the dip, and the enemy team has been wiped out. Well, despite the fact that Captain Ashstorm got wiped out by the Arty at the end, it was the end of the game very shortly afterwards, because I think that Arty got wiped out very promptly afterwards. It was the second-class tanker for Captain Ashstorm in the Lansen C. He managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. He got the high caliber because he got at least 20% of the enemy hit pool, and he was the highest damage scorer in the game. He got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, and a tank sniper for doing a huge amount of damage, at least 300 meters or more, on the highest accuracy. 6,572 was the win rate, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. So let's have a look at team score and see where he stands. Well, he definitely got the highest damage in the game. Look at this, 5,023 hit points. The nearest player to him was the Object 263. He was the guy who was actually slotting a lot of the enemy. 3,914 hit points went to him. And the third highest damage was the E75 on his own team with 3,807. The best that the enemy team could put up was that 263, and he got 2,150. When it came to kills, it was the Object 263 on his own team who did the best with 5 kills. And in fact, actually, I think he did kill some of the tanks that Captain Ashstorm hit. And the E75 got 3 kills. 2 kills went to the UDES, and only 1 kill went to Captain Ashstorm. But look at this. Only 2 enemy tanks actually got kills in that game. And one of them was Captain Ashstorm, was the kill for the M40, M43. The other one was the Object 263, who got 1 kill as well. So yes, only 2 members of his team died, and he was one of them. But I suppose it comes with the fact that this tank does have very thin armor. So if you do get hit by Arty in this one, you're going to feel it. It's going to leave a scratch that's not going to buff out in the morning. Okay, when it came to base XP, yeah, Captain Ashstorm definitely got that one. 1,183 base XP is the highest. So he got the top in 2 columns. 1,012 went to the Object 263 on his team, the guy who got the most kills, and 1,008 went to that ELC Evan 90, the guy who was doing the spotting in the swamp, did 4,972 hit points of spotting, and that's enabled Captain Ashstorm to get that much damage in the game. As he did say, Muppet enemies, Muppet teammates, 1 good light ally, and that's the result he got. Yes, it was the ELC, and he definitely deserved that 1,008 on his base, because he was working extra hard time by not shooting the enemy. He basically only fired 1 round, or at least as far as I can see, he only fired 1 round. Actually, he fired 4 shots, got 3 direct hits on the enemy and 2 pens. So he obviously missed on 1 shot, got 1 shot which actually probably hit the tracks of an enemy vehicle. But he only got 205 hit points of damage, which tends to make me think that he probably hit somebody who had heavy armor, and that's why he couldn't get his shots to penetrate. But very well done by that guy, because he actually provided a lot of the spotting assist for Captain Ashstorm. He fired 20 rounds in that game, got 17 direct hits and 16 penetrations. It's a decent gun, a 105. It's kind of low alpha for a tier 8, you might say, 320. Especially when you consider it's 105mm, because, well, you'd think that it would actually do a bit more, maybe 390. But anyway, it is fairly rapid on the fire rate as well, because it's only 8.82 seconds, I think, to reload by book. But I think Captain Ashstorm did have a slightly lower time on reload. 5,023 hit points of damage, of which 4,687 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see this tank is a very effective sniper because the shells tend to go where you aim them. 2 hits received, both penetrations, and yeah, I'm afraid the one that did hit him, did the most damage, was the enemy Arty. He got hit by the E75 with a 128mm round. That did sort of like cause a bit of trouble, but it was the shot from the Arty in the end that finished him off. So nice shot by the Arty. Difficult to shoot down into a dip like that, but he did get the shot in, and we got to compliment the enemy player if he did put a good round in that actually took out the best player on Captain Ashstorm's team, which was Captain Ashstorm. When it came to vehicles, he spotted 3, damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, 564 hit points of damage assistance, and he earned 118,922 credits from the game, 59,461 from personal reserves, same again from commission completion, total of 237,843 credits altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, and I don't think he actually used any premium rounds in that game, or at least if he did, I didn't see it. And so he ended up with a profit of 194,556 credits overall. 1,774 XP, 178 for this being a premium vehicle, and 1,774 from personal reserves. Took away 3,727 experience points altogether. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this tank. It's very thin, as you can see, but look at the armor there is impacted armor 60mm. That's the actual thickness of the metal. But you can see, but it's so well angled, he's actually getting about 120. So it's twice the thickness of the actual armor is the effective armor that you're firing at. So very well armored up there. A little less well armored down below because it's slightly flatter there, slab-sided. It's much easier to get around through the lower plate of a Lansen C than it is through the upper plate. You've got some fairly strong points along here, which are about 100mm, but again, it's fairly slab at that particular point. You can probably punch around through some of these weak spots over here. That's where the driver is, I think. And you can see here on the turret 70mm and effective armor is 100. So looking at this tank as you see it, you can punch through with standard ordinary ammo. You wouldn't need premium ammo to take down this tank at tier 8. And it's very thin on the side. So treating this as a sniper tank is actually more effective than a brawling tank. If you go into a brawl, you're probably not going to bounce many of the shots that get fired at you. You're more than likely going to absorb them, and that's going to take you out the game quicker. So much better to do exactly what Captain Ashstorm did and treat this as a sniper and then take out the enemy from long range away. Again, the cupola, very, very weak. It's only 40mm, but that's about all you're going to get effective armor. Anyway, that's the armor profile of the Lansen C. It virtually doesn't have any. Let's have a look at the modules. Well, I think you can see in the modules here, the driver is sitting up front around those ports on the right-hand side of the vehicle as you're looking at it. We've got the transmission. It's a front-wheel drive right at the front of the vehicle. And there's a huge ammo rack, not just in the back of the turret, the bustle of the turret, but there's also a big slab-sided one on the right-hand side of the vehicle as you're looking at it, as well as one that's right at the shoulder of the turret. So if you're looking, oh, didn't mean to do that. If you're looking at the tank just above the tracks on underneath the turret, that's where you should be aiming because that's where the ammo rack is. We can see that the gunner is on the left-hand side of the turret as you're looking at it. The loader's on the right-hand side of the turret as you're looking at it. The tank commander is sitting right behind the gunner, and they're only offset slightly. So if you aim for this area of the turret, and you remember you can get through the armor around about here because it is fairly thin, you should be able to take out 2 people at once. The gunner and the TC. The radio is directly behind the TC, and behind that is that ammo rack. But if we look at the rear of the tank, we can see there's a big fuel tank right in front of the engine, and then we've got the engine right at the back, occupying virtually all of the space. Remember, it's front wheel drive, front wheel on the drive sprockets. And so there has to be a transmission going all the way through the center of the vehicle. I can't remember if it is torsion bar suspension, but I suspect it probably was. Yes, you can see where the weak spots to aim for are either that big shoulder just underneath the turret, that's where there's the ammo rack, or in between the tracks on the second roller, or second return roller, that should contact with the ammo rack, or you go for the fuel tank, which is just below the bustle, or up here in the actual turret itself in the bustle there's the other ready rack. So there it is, that's the module placement on the Lansen C. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.